Hi, everyone. Must be Monday. Good to see you all. I am, let's see, eyes deep in the start of NaNoWriMo. I've had some interesting stuff going on, which is fun and exciting. And so let's see. I started out on November 1st. I sat down and um, just to be perfectly transparent in this, I started out with a word count of 5,954 words to start with because I had done some background and written part of the foreword and put the chapter titles in and such. So I had, sorry, a little bit of a head start. I am not counting those words for my Nano. So when you see me updating my word count, that's just the word count for the day, and it's the word count minus that 5,954 words. So I'm not cheating in getting my 50,000 out. But my daily total for November 1st was 2,672 words. I sat down and it just went, "Bleh," but that's good because I had a whole bunch of background stuff done. And honestly, the first week is usually fairly easy because we all have all these ideas that we're starting with, right? It's when the ideas start to dry up and we're getting into the more niggly bits that it becomes really difficult. So, day two, on November 2nd, I got a big fat zero. I had to work that morning, so I was up out of the house, worked all day, came back, showered, and then went to a religious service. So, like, and then I wasn't home. I got back to my boyfriend's place and we went to bed because it was late and we were tired. We were so tired we fell asleep on the couch. So it was just like there was no time for writing. And this is why I like to write more than the 1,667 words a day because life happens. Life happens a lot, especially because it's November and it's a time when you're supposed to be socializing and Christmas shopping and all the rest of that fun stuff. So, yesterday was November 3rd. Now, I usually write at home, and in previous Nano years, I really haven't had a whole lot in the way of a social life during November because all of my SCA events are done, all of the Ren fairs are done, and November's kind of a quiet time. So I would write and sew, and that was all I did. That's not true this year. This year, I have a new boyfriend. I have a bunch of social engagements. I had a religious thing yesterday. Next weekend, I have a memorial. The weekend after that, I have stuff to do around the house. It's been crazy. So for me, my weekends went from being the time when I could sit and get a whole bunch written to being the time when I have to plan around, and that's different. So something that happened was I took my computer with me to my boyfriend's place. I haven't done that before. Normally, I write at home, and I've written at work a couple of times because my boss doesn't mind. Um, but I've never really kind of written at anybody else's house. So that was new and interesting. Um, I just sat on the floor in his living room. He was doing other things and just wrote there, and that turned out pretty good. I managed in the space of an hour to get 1,388 words done, which was more than I thought I would. Um, I really didn't think I would get that much done, and it didn't feel like I had. And I did a bad. I so I always tell people, don't edit, don't edit. NaNoWriMo is for writing. Don't do any editing. Well, I did a little bit of editing because I was going through and I noticed an error, and I couldn't bring myself to leave it. So I actually removed about 50 words, and so that 1388 is plus an extra 50 words. So, you know, I feel okay about it. Today, I'm starting with a word count of 10,014 words, and I'm actually pretty comfortable with that. I'm technically at only about 6,000 words if I go by how many I've written in November, but that's still okay for day 4, and I haven't written yet, and I'm about to sit down and do that. That's not too bad. If you think of it roughly as 2,000 words a day, that's 2,468. I should be by the end of today at 8,000 words, and that's not an unreasonable goal for today. Um, my word count, my full word count should be about 12,000 words, and I'll be comfortable with that. I'm hoping that maybe it'll be more, but it's okay if I don't quite make that. As long as I make my minimum of 1,667 words before I take a break, and then I'll do another 500 to 1,000 words after that. I don't think I'm doing too badly. I know that some of you out there are struggling because I've seen it. I've seen it on the forums. I've seen it on my Facebook feed. So, what I want to say is don't despair. First off, it's only the fourth day. You are not that behind. No matter what your lying brain and endocrine system is telling you, you are not all that far behind. At the outside, you are about 7,500 words in the hole. That's not that much. You can sit down and do that this weekend if you need to. On the other hand, falling behind in the beginning can sometimes be rough because you feel very discouraged. And I remember back when I started doing NaNoWriMo in what, 2008, something like that. And the first 4 years I did it, I started writing on the first day. I didn't on the second. Then I looked and said, fuck, I can't do this. And then I stopped. And that was the biggest blow that I could have had. So what I want to tell you, if you're out there and you're writing and you don't feel like you've done what you need to do, please don't give up. Okay? You can do this. You can sit down and write. Even if you don't make 50,000 words, you can make a huge dent in that number. Even if you only write 40,000 words, even if you only write 30,000 words, I don't care. That's that much closer to an end piece, to a finished novel. And you deserve to continue doing it for yourself. I don't care about anyone else. Don't write for someone else. Okay? I mean, you can write for the people that you want to write for. Like, I mean, I'm writing for people who like snarky bitches, you know, and well, that was previously. Now I'm writing for people who like to eat really good medieval food, but I'm writing for my audience, but the bottom line is I'm writing for me. I'm not writing for my boyfriend, I'm not writing for my family, I'm not writing for my kids. I'm not writing because of them. I'm writing for me. This is about me meeting my own goals. And that's what NaNoWriMo is for. You're not competing with your buddies. Okay? They can help hold you accountable because that it's nice when you have cheerleaders and they're able to sort of help you out and bolster you up and do what I'm doing right now, which is saying, if you haven't gotten started yet, you can still do this. But the bottom line is you're not writing for them. You're not competing against them. Okay? You will not win if you somehow have more words than someone else at the end of NaNoWriMo. The only person you should be competing with is yourself. And the only thing that you should be competing for is to finish, to actually complete writing what you're doing. And if you look at your writing and decide that at 40,000 words or 45,000 words that you have a finished product, awesome. Stop writing, finish it up, go back and start editing. You're going to add some words in as you're doing editing anyway. I really think that if you end up with a finished product at the end of NaNoWriMo, that's a win just as much as having those 50,000 words. I can't express how incredible it felt when I finished my first book. The Message of the Maxims was written back in, I don't know, 2008, I think. And I didn't actually do it for NaNoWriMo, although I did it in a very short period of time one spring. And it comes in at, I think, about 37,000 words. It's small. It's not a novel. It's a nonfiction book. It's kind of a self-help religious book for pagans. So it didn't need to be 50,000 words. But I'll tell you, when it was finished and I got to see that finished product in my hands, I was blown away. And I can tell you something that I was a panelist at the NaNoWriMo kickoff last Wednesday. And one of the things that our more experienced author, Dan Sesney, said is it never gets old opening that first box and seeing your new book in paper. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter how many times you do it. It's going to be just as exciting to see it. Oh my gosh, I'm holding the thing. When I published the first of the Taylor Mage books, I opened that box, and the first thing that came out of my mouth was, "It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be." Because when I wrote it on 8.5 by 11 single spaced in a really small font, and that just because that's what my word processor did. So when it was printed out, it came out to a chunky book, and I was looking at it going, "Wow." Like I wrote all those words. It's such a good feeling, and I want each and every one of you to feel that feeling. I really do. I want you to finish your novels at the end of November, and or your projects. I want you to go through the editing process or have it out to a professional editor, and I want you to get it published. Please note that editing part, that's really important. Don't skip that, or I will shame you publicly. I'm serious. Editing is so important. Grammar structure, spelling, um, correcting small errors that show up, it's so important. Because if you don't do that, those of us who get the little movie that goes in our head when we're reading, every time we hit one of those, it's like hitting a wall and you get thrown out of the story. And it's not fun. I don't like that. So I want your finished product to be slick. And if that takes you a year to edit, like the second Taylor Mage book has with me, then so be it. That's the price of having an excellent finished product, a finished product that you can be proud of and that you can smile about. So do that. Take the time. But before you get there, you still have to write it. So if you have not sat down to write today, please go do. If you do 5 minutes of writing, it's still more than 0 minutes of writing. And I'm proud of you. If you can manage to eke it out into 15 minutes of writing, good for you. I'm proud of you. If you can manage to chunk out 1,667 words today, I'm going to give you 2 thumbs up because that's a goal that's very lofty and it's hard. It's just not an easy thing to do. And if you get to 2,500 words, like I'm hoping to today, knock on wood, um, I don't have enough thumbs. Just congratulations, because that's a lofty and wonderful goal, and you've met it, and you can do it. But even if your goal is 100 words or a single poem or one blog post or whatever, if you do it and you make that goal, that's that's winning. That's winning right there. And you just keep right on doing that every day until you get to the end of the month. Okay? You can do this. I believe in you. And I need all of you, okay? I need you guys to believe in me because I'm feeling very distracted this year. And it's hard because I want to think about other things like gift giving and cooking. And there's so much going on in my head. And I need to focus on my writing. So you focus on your writing. You hold me accountable. I'll focus on my writing and I'll hold you accountable. Okay? If you want to friend me on the NaNoWriMo.org website, I am Rev Allison, REVALLYSON, and you'll know it's me because the project I'm working on is called the Reenactors Cookbook, and there's a cute little cover for it that I made myself, and it's probably not what we're going to end up with, but you know what? It's a working cover, and I'm good with that. If you want to follow me, I'm probably going to be doing some live Google Meet type writing today, which means that I'll open up a video chat room and anybody who wants to pop in and say hi or sit around and watch me write silently with jazz music going on in the background is more than welcome to do that. Um, yeah, so don't give up. You might be behind, but you are not giving up, right? You're going to go out and you're going to put words on paper today. I believe in you. I believe in me. We're going to do this and we're going to win. So go ahead. Oh, and I have my coffee leggings on because they look like coffee stains because I run on coffee. This time during Nano, I run on coffee. All right. I love you all. Go out there and write hard. You can do this. I believe in you. I believe in me. I'm going to go write words now. Go write. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe, okay? Subscribe.